eternal hope to those who have faith in him. Please, continue.
This is a Rebels Cause Radio with Nisai Kandera, Jonathan Wedgeworth, and your host, the tattooed freak of a man, Dan Fry.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is indeed a Rebels Cause Radio coming to you live. Well, I guess we're not live. We're coming to you on a Saturday night, late night Saturday night on KTIA. Those of you watching rebelscause.com at the Watch and Listen Live feature on a Thursday night, you get us live. So we're live, kind of. But our listeners on KTIA, which we love so much, we're not live yet. You need to call KTIA and bother Chris Roloff. Just say, Chris, these guys are too good not to be live. And that's all you got to do. Just do that for me. It'd be great. Tonight, we got a whole lot of nothing for you. This is probably going to be, it'll turn out to be great because we haven't planned anything out. That's typically how it works. Joining me in studio tonight, we've got Sam UL Hall.
The one and only.
Samu is what we like to call him here. We got my buddy Dave, who has joined us for the very first time. Came to Theology Group last night. Wanted to hang out with some Christians. Said, hey, I got this radio show. You can come hang out with us. Yeah, I'm crazy like that. And then, of course, we've got Ryan in the production booth. Oh, John's here. John's here.
Yeah, one of seven.
John,
at least I didn't call you Jonathan.
That's true.
I didn't mess up your name.
That's true.
I didn't add a nickname to you.
That's true.
You're just John.
You're not wearing a Gamers t-shirt today.
No, I came straight from work, so I'm wearing business cash. Well, I did not straight from work. I went to 2 different hospitals to visit 2 different people, so I really have absolutely zero preparation into this show. Absolutely zero.
That's always good.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to do radio.
Let
you
your
gotta speak
audience,
in the mic. Speak in the mic.
Let your audience know.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm doing.
Whatever I say, I didn't think this through totally, and you're not worth the thought. That's a good way to start the show.
That's a good way to paint that.
I, on the other hand, have printed up the article. Sam and Dave have had the opportunity to look over them. John, because he arrived a little later than them, just didn't get on.
Just hanging out at the arcade, not visiting people in the hospital or anything like that.
He was probably playing Mario Brothers. Let's just put this in perspective. Mario Brothers is John wrote a whole blog about how Zelda is more important than his Bible. So
that's not exactly.
Hey, that
what
fell
I
off.
said.
Nobody has listened to that blog in a long time.
That's because people figured out it's not actually about
Zelda. Yeah, well, I'm just excited that it's no longer beating my stuff. New blog out today. Okay, total new blog out today. Are we Butt Brothers? Why don't you go check it out?
Provocative title.
All my titles are.
Let me guess.
I think it was B-U-T.
Yeah, it is. Are we B-U-T in parentheses, brothers? It is it's a great blog. I'm pretty proud of it. If I do say so myself, it's based off of conversation, a couple conversations we've had about context at Theology Discussion Group, and I brought that into the blog. And I just think it's at least worth going and telling me whether I'm crazy or not, right? So you can find that at rebelscause.com. You click on the blog button, it'll take you to the Rebels blog, and bam, right there is that blog dealing with that. I'm not going to tell you too much about it because I want you to go to read it for yourself. You can comment in the blog. You can find us on Facebook. So you can comment on Facebook. Just look up a Rebels Cause in Facebook. You'll find us. We also have Twitter. We're getting better about twitting.
Tweeting.
I like twit. I like twit. See, because I don't want to. Is it tweeting?
It's tweeting.
But I like twit.
It's tweeting.
But I like twit. Can I rename it? Does anybody have an objection?
Twit is an insult.
you say so many things that are close to right, but not quite.
Yeah,
it would just fit in.
I'm not a tweeter guy. So
I think you're dangerously close to saying something horrible.
Yeah, that's something I like. Let's not say any more of this.
That
stuff.
one's risky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't.
I don't know.
Get the bleep button ready.
Yeah. No. Twit is an insult, but it's. I don't think we're trying to say what I think you guys think we're trying to say.
I could just see it coming out.
No. I got better control of my words than that. But,
sorry.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks for the compliment there.
You're welcome.
Tonight, I want to talk a little bit about Francis Chan and how he's a communist and a moralist and why I love him. And then we'll talk a little bit about how much Muslim context is too much Muslim context for the gospel. For everybody that went, what? basically there are missions right now active in the Middle East that are trying to reach the Muslim people through the context of being a Muslim, I guess, like living out what Muslim life would look out, and then adding into adding the gospel in where it needs to be, and dividing properly or sometimes improperly what is okay and permissible in that culture and what needs to be changed. It's pretty interesting. If you're reading some books about some philosophy books, you'll probably get a kick out of that conversation. That'll be last, because that's the conversation I got told I was wrong a lot last night in theology. So I want to make sure I make my argument so simple that I'm not wrong. And then I don't really have any. You guys got anything particular you guys want to talk about?
Dear Abby died today.
Yeah, she did.
She was 94.
That's horrible.
So that
So can I take her spot now? People could write me, and then I could give good advice.
No, well, I don't know about that. her daughter's probably doing it now, right?
I think it's her twins.
No, her twin sister died like 15 years ago, something like that. I don't know exactly when she died. I'm not real big on.
John's a secularist. He knows all about secular stuff.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, he wrote a whole blog about Zelda and how awesome Zelda was.
I know. It's heresy. No, but I don't know who's taking over for the.
That'd be kind of interesting. Live from the Path that's on right before us. They do a whole section called Secular Advice, Christian Advice. And they basically take Dear Abby and they read the secular advice that Abby gives, and then try to give advice with a Christian spin on it. It's kind of a fun little skit. I would steal it, but literally they're right before us.
Oh.
And so it'd be kind of odd. Like, that's weird. We just heard that on Live from the Path. And they're really they're hilarious. The Live from the Path guys.
I remember those guys.
Yeah, it's very fast paced, kind of, and there's a bunch of jokes. And I mean, one of the guys is called like Pants from the Path, and like they just got to. It's really goofy. I like our show to be goofy, but it's not their level. They'd be like great Christian morning radio guys, like the Christian Bob and Tom,
Christian Car Talk.
Yeah. Well, no,
they're not very funny. They're kind of annoying and
Christian Car Talk. I've never heard them.
I don't think it's Christian Car Talk. I think isn't it just Car Talk?
I was just that words came out before I thought about what I was saying.
That's the wrong order.
That is the wrong.
Sam has Tourette's, so sometimes he'll just say things. And
I know you don't understand how many times I got to pull his mic cable. So for you guys out in the interwebs, hopefully you've had the opportunity to Google Francis Chan. You'll find out that he is a bald.
He's a Chinese guy with no hair.
Yeah, he's a bald Chinese guy, right?
Yep.
And very interesting guy. Right now he's exploding across the internet. He's got a 4,000 member church out in California. I don't think that's a bad thing, although I know some of you guys are like, oh, I want to stick to this 150 people or under model. And I think there's some validity in that, even as I go to a church that does that. So he's got this mega church, and he's really exploded. The problem that a lot of people are having with this guy is, I guess, they're attaching him to moralism because he's really preaching that we ought to live out Christianity. And so he has himself, he doesn't take a church, just like Rick Warren, doesn't take a salary from the church. Actually made $500,000 in book sales last year, and then donated almost all of it. He says 90%. His accountants are more comfortable saying almost all of it.
Sure.
To a fund that basically deals with sex slaves from Asia, I guess. Something that kind of in his context of being a Chinese guy, I suppose that culture has a lot of that. So you kind of see it lived out. And so they claim it's moralism. So let's talk about moralism. John, can you define moralism for it? You're kind of the guy.
Moralism is kind of be good for goodness sake. It's not quite the same as legalism. Legalism is working for your salvation. Moralism is doing good for the sake of doing good, basically. That's a really kind of a flyover of it.
Well, yeah, it would be my understanding of it. I guess my flyover view would be that you're replacing the interaction of God and the importance of God and salvation with righteousness. Being a moral person. Like your salvation isn't merely dependent upon God, but also dependent upon being a morally good person. Is that right?
I don't have a problem with that definition. I think it's not always that crass. I don't think it's always I'm doing this to be saved.
Yeah,
but it's a change in the motivation for doing good. Instead of this amazing God has saved me, now I want to live for Him. I want to live a life of holiness in gratitude for what He's done for me. It's I want to be good to be good. It's not I want to be good to get to heaven usually.
Yeah, no, I get that. I understand the difference. I'm part of this. So I've got to wonder of all the things you could be accused of. Okay, so you're not perverting the gospel here necessarily. You're trying to be good for the sake of being good.
It kind of misses the gospel. It really depends upon what color of moralism we're talking about.
Well, that's true. Reaching or context. But anyway, somebody accused Francis Chan of being a moralist, and I guess that's pretty common for him to happen. And I look at Francis Chan and what he talks about, which is primarily the gospel. And I'm going to be honest, I don't have a real good opinion on the guy.
I don't know him well enough to really weigh in heavy.
I've listened to a couple sermons. I thought they were they were cookie cutter Mark Driscoll-ish kind of sermons.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I felt about it. And we all know I used to be a fan of Mark Driscoll, and that's where we'll leave that. So...
I did find out, okay, I know so little about Francis Chan. There's a temptation, and this is a temptation that we shouldn't dismiss this kind of thing, but we should be careful not to convict, either accuse or excuse someone because of this. Sometimes we tend to go innocent by association. This guy is liked by people that I like, and trust. So
sure.
We assume he's good. He might not be good. Well, the same thing works in reverse. Guilty by association.
I've never seen that happen. I always see guilty by association.
Well,
innocent by association almost never happens.
I've definitely seen innocent by association.
Do you have a good example of that other than like a private, like we would, like a national example maybe?
Maybe I can get back to you later with one. Let me think about that.
Rick Warren.
Yeah, I mean, when John Piper kind of accepted Rick Warren, I think that changed a lot of other people's minds about Rick Warren.
It also changed other people's minds about John Piper.
Well, true, but...
Hey, Benji, I see you talking in there saying Megan would think less of me, but I don't really like Mark Driscoll, so she's safe. I used to like Mark Driscoll. Notice the used to past tense.
Okay, but the guilty by association. If someone that you don't feel is good like someone, then it makes you immediately suspicious of that person.
And that's actually where I began my suspicion of Francis Chan, as I saw him sit down with Mark Driscoll, and I thought, oh no.
I won't name the source because it's local, but there was a source that I am deeply suspicious of that was really highly promoting Francis Chan.
Yeah.
And so that made me suspicious of him, but I don't know him well. I'm certainly not going to say he's a bad guy because I don't know him well enough. Now, I did find out one thing right now, crack research, Wikipedia. Apparently he's a master's seminary grad. And now that's a credential that's a good credential.
Yeah, no, he graduated from the same place that we would see like Vodi Bakum come from.
Yeah, the master's, you guys, Sam, you guys, the two of you know what the master's seminary is, right?
It's a 3-year degree.
No, master's seminary is a school that John MacArthur started, where like Vodi Bakum got his degree from, Francis Chan. There's a couple other guys that are really kind of big on the scene right now that have gone there.
Bob Glenn, I think.
Yeah, Bob Glenn.
So it's not a major, it's a specific school.
Right.
Yeah, it's a specific school, yeah. This is a Rebels Cause Radio. Read your Bibles, go to church, love Jesus, forsake the world. We'll be right back, KTIA.
I'm Brian Leach, owner and general manager of Service Legends. I brought along a couple of the Home Comfort heroes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wells.
I am Nick Wondershot.
I'm administrative manager.
I'm the senior technician
from Service Legends.
It seems like every good thing, when you feel it to the bone that it's good, there's a lot of hard work put behind it. I don't think that you can fake it and have it turn out good.
If we seem like, okay, that's just weird, it's just a furnace, why would you believe so deeply in a furnace? It's not just that, we want to show the world that you can have good service.
Yeah, I mean, it's your home.
It's built into our daily trainings, it's built into our culture, that we're gonna do whatever it takes to have each client say they love us, period.
That's why we spend all the hours in the training that we do. And if we guarantee it's gonna be a good experience for you, or else it's free, what type of work do you think we're gonna do?
There is a guarantee.
Temperature selection guarantee, fixed right or it's free guarantee, comfort guarantee, best value guarantee. All of these guarantees hold us accountable to ensuring that we exceed your expectations. And if for whatever reason we'd fail and we can't make it right, we guarantee all of those guarantees with a 100% money back guarantee.
I mean, if you don't think that your technician can fix it right, are you gonna say that to a client? No.
You don't have to worry about having a technician come to your house.
We drug test, background check all of our team members. We put safe people in your home. Each and every one of our service techs, 400 hours a year in training.
You tell it the minute they walk in the door. They know what they're doing, they've done their homework, and they actually truly care about what you want.
Because at the end of the day, you're the person that makes sure I have a job.
They're gonna be listening. They're gonna wanna know what your challenges are. Then they're gonna come and give you options, and you get to choose.
If I'm there to help and I make it easy and painless, I did my job right that day.
Well, when it comes to your comfort, safety, and your family, you know, you don't necessarily go buy the most expensive, but you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, it's worth it, because there's a lot of people that will find a way to get it to work right now and then leave and then come back, charge you again, and the cycle just repeats itself. So when I'm out there looking at the furnace, I want to find why it failed today. How can we change the part today with something that you're not going to have to worry about? Is it worth changing the part today? I mean, you can put a lot of money into a furnace. I can fix parts all day. There's good job security in that for me, but is it the right thing for you?
I get a lot of the phone calls of after the technicians are there. They're just in awe. They're like, wow, you guys are great. I mean, I don't even know what to say. You guys are great. Everything you did was perfect. It was great.
Keep going though, I like this.
Just give us a try. I'm gonna take all the risk.
I've got the time to make this right. I've got the support to make it right.
Just check us out.
And if you don't see the value in what we do,
I mean, fixed right or it's free or 100% money back.
enough said.
When you find yourself in danger, when you're threatened by a stranger, when it looks like you will take a licking. Oh, the super chicken.
We know that there are a lot of great radio shows that you could be a fan of, but there is only one that's certified organic, free range, and cage free. Just like that hippie chicken you ate for dinner. This is a Rebels Cause Radio.
I love my hippie chicken. I don't know why Chris Roloff makes fun of people that eat free range chickens.
Because you told him to.
John, you're busting me out right and left. We're gonna have to turn John's mic off. I should have given him the night off. This is a Rebels Cause Radio. I am your host, Dan Fry, Father Tattoo, Papa Tat. I don't have any other nicknames.
Did you have those pre-written, or was that just off the cuff? Right
That's
there?
off the cuff. Those are actually my nicknames.
Oh, okay.
Sadly enough. Of course, we have Samu L. Hall.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah.
We got our buddy Dave in the studio. Dave is a personal friend of Sam's. I just met him last night. We thought, hey, let's throw him on the radio. That's always a good idea. I mean, I like to sometimes just randomly grab people off the street that know nothing and just bring them in and see how that goes.
Well, Dave knows.
Dave's really
stuff.
smart, actually. Yeah, he was a good contributor last night in theology class.
He's far smarter than I am.
Yeah, it was weird because you weren't there. And then, of course, we got Ryan in the production booth, pushing the buttons, doing all the hard work, heavy lifting and whatnot. Again, Rebels Cause Radio right here on 99.3 KTIA.
We'll see you next week, guys.
Yeah. John's leaving, I guess, apparently. Oh, yeah. John Wedgeworth, of course, in the studio. He is our agitator, our... if you want an argument, like I told John called and said, tonight would be a good night to be off. So I need somebody to pick a fight with me. So that's John.
And I haven't picked a fight with you.
Not yet. It's early.
We need like VB23. What that? Remember that guy from last week who was chatting? VB for 3.
Oh, for 3. Yeah.
Well, he was picking a fight in chat. If only he'd call. Yeah, we get some weird stuff on our chat. For those of you listening on KTIA, you missed out. I'm just gonna tell you right now. We are a webcast show that actually broadcasts live Thursday nights, 8 o'clock at rebelscause.com. And when you're watching that, alongside of it, there's a chat going. And we have, I don't know, probably 30 at this point, 30 people or so.
I'll find out an exact.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I mean, just in general, we probably have 30 different personalities on there.
Yeah, not that many on right now, but there's a lot of people.
Yeah, and so we got a bunch of people on there talking, and they kind of go off topic, in topic, out of topic, criticize, compliment. You never know what they're going to say. Some of the greatest comments have come out of chat. You missed it if you're listening to it. It's a replay on the air. Not that you can't just listen to us and be just totally into our sultry voices. But it's a good thing to do. You can check us out on the blog. We also get callers on Thursday night. Unfortunately, KTIA callers, I can't give you the number because if you call, nobody will be here. But for Frank, who has called us from Des Moines, Frank is, let me explain this guy. This guy calls every local talk show and has different issues. Frank, you'd say you have different things you talk about with everyone, right?
Yeah, well, I kind of go with the territory.
Sure.
I mean, I think as a Christian, we live in this world till Christ comes, and obviously, while I don't think Christians ought to be so overtly political, we live in this mess.
Sure.
So we have to have a voice and have a say in what's going on and how our lives are being, dictated to. So, with that said, I guess I was going to mention I'm a little new to the moralism.
Sure, me too.
Thing you're mentioning.
Yeah, we're just talking about Francis Chan. He's a communist moral guy. I like it.
Well, let's see if we can come to some agreement here.
Okay, let's try.
Yeah. Okay. Christ come to meet the requirements of the law.
Okay.
The requirements of the law.
Yeah, he satisfied the law.
Created his death. He says that my requirement to keep the commandments now is, if you love me, keep my commandments. So I'm no longer required to keep the commandments out of fear of condemnation, but out of my love for my Savior.
Okay, I'm tracking with you. I don't disagree necessarily.
But the law had to be left in place, not unlike a mirror. When you look at a mirror and you behold your face, you see what you really look like.
Yeah, I think that's a good explanation.
I think sounds like you're invoking Luther.
Yeah, I like Martin Luther.
Well, I think we need some reformation in this country.
Yeah.
But when we look in the mirror, we behold what we really are, and that.
Do we have Michael Jackson "Man in the Mirror" queued up? I feel like we should.
Okay, well, I think that's kind of what John was saying earlier. He was making a distinction between legalism and moralism.
Well, that law that's left in place points out my need for a Savior.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's the purpose of the law, is it condemns us and shows us even of our continued need for a Savior, or for Christ, even after we've been saved. But we're not looking to the law for our salvation.
No, exactly.
Right.
But the Lord doesn't want to see anything to do with the law. When He looks at you, when God looks at you, all He wants to see is the shed blood of Jesus Christ covering your filthy robes of unrighteousness.
Well, I don't know. Wait a second, Frank. Though I don't know that it's all He wants to see. Would you not agree that God would be most pleased by us living a moral life in compliance with His laws?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think we could say God would like to see us live in compliance with the law, but He also knows better.
Well, as Paul said, all is lawful for me, but all does not edify me.
Absolutely.
So
love Paul, good guy.
Yes, Paul probably. I hear a lot of ministers say that Paul's probably the premier Christian to look at because he had such a
I think the guy was a wretched sinner.
Well, that's the point. He thought he was too.
He had such an extreme conversion.
Sure.
That sometimes when we're born into the faith, we can't really tell when that day was that we was converted. But Paul had this absolute night and day conversion to where he one day is walking in total ignorance and righteousness, and then the next day he is walking in faith in the Lord.
Sure.
So therefore, Paul is a person that's a visionary.
Okay.
But I guess my point is that as a Christian,
real quick, what do you mean by visionary? What do you mean by that?
Well,
I mean, because the Holy Spirit was talking through Paul, I guess, where we would stand.
James, I think some of you may know this, but there was a real debate on James, whether James was to be let in the Bible or not, because he was pretty much oriented on salvation by works.
Yeah.
And Paul just blew all that out of the water.
Sure.
Well, what do you mean by salvation by works? I mean, flesh that out, because it almost sounds like you're trying to pit Paul and James against each other.
And I don't know that James contradicts.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't
I'll give
contradict.
you an example: Cain and Abel. This goes into justification and sanctification.
Yeah.
But Cain and Abel represented. Cain represented the fruits of his labor, his works. Cain or Abel totally accepted Christ's sacrifice, the sacrifice of the sacrificial lamb, looking forward to the cross, Cain wanted to come in, and Cain wanted to say, no, I don't want to slaughter no animal. I want to give you some of the best fruits of my trees, some of the the best.
I don't think that's an accurate representation of the account.
No. For Frank, I mean, and maybe I don't know. I guess maybe you're not familiar with. There is a grain sacrifice. Cain's sacrifice wasn't denied because it wasn't an animal. It was denied because the heart in which it was given was not that of Abel's.
Exactly.
But it wasn't because of the sacrifice itself. It wasn't because it wasn't a dead animal. I mean, we want to make
no, but it was representing his efforts, the fruits of his labor.
Cain was supposed to work the ground, and Abel was supposed to work the fields.
Yeah.
For the
but what I'm saying is, Abel took on the sacrifice of
vice versa
of Jesus' death, Jesus' shed blood. Cain did not take on that sacrifice. He wanted to try to work his way.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna try to exegete what exactly Cain. I mean, I think Scripture is kind of vague in why Cain's heart wasn't there. It's just clear that it was a problem in Cain's heart.
And what was clear about it wasn't what happened before. Before it says he brought the best of the vegetables and Abel brought the best of the flock. It's in how he reacted afterwards.
Well, that's also there was reactionary. Frank, go ahead and try to finish out your point here.
I'm just saying that there was a clear difference between Cain and Abel's desire and their acceptance of Jesus Christ and his potential execution on the cross for their sins. And
I haven't tied those together yet, I guess.
And they were looking forward through the slaughter of the lamb. That was to look forward to the cross. We now look back at the cross. They were looking forward.
Well, I agree they were looking forward, but
I don't think they had any concept of really what that looked like. If they had that clear of a view, then I don't think Jesus would have been rejected the way he was.
Well, I guess I'm saying that Cain his heart was never in it.
Well, we agree there. All right, Frank. Well, hey, do you got a finale, I guess, to this point, because we do got to move on to our next topic here.
No, that's fine. I'm good.
You're good?
Yep.
Well, we didn't push you off or make you feel bad, did we?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll talk to you next week, Frank.
All right.
All right. Talk to you later, brother.
We love you, Frank.
Yeah. Thanks.
You know what's kind of odd is Wayne's been kind of preaching about Cain and Abel as of late. So, I mean, I don't know that I would have ever gone down whatever trail he was going down necessarily, but
I think we were together in the most abstract sense. Like you could still say that we were kind of sort of maybe on the same page.
Yeah, but I think here.
Well, he said, his heart wasn't in it.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That was kind of the.
But I think he's trying to. I mean, he's really trying to draw some parallels there. This is Rebels Cause Radio. For those of you listening on the web, you can give us a call 1-855-244-0077. If you're listening to us on KTIA, I'm sorry, the bus has left the station. Speaking of buses, in a couple weeks we begin our Black History Month celebration. And we will have the very first guest up in queue is a guy named Quay Hanna. He is the author of Bus America, The Revelation of a Redneck. He is a guy that travels around the country and even parts of the world talking about racism and how he went from being extremely racist to open to other cultures and stuff like that through a bus trip that took 8 weeks across America, and it's an interesting story. He really had some time to sit and think, and a lot of his predispositions were blown out of the water by things that happened to him, and so it'll be a good story. He is a member of the same denomination that C.J. Mahaney leads or led. Very solid guy.
What do you know what the denomination is?
Sovereign Grace.
Sovereign Grace, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's basically Calvinist soteriology and charismatic pneumatology.
Yeah. There's at least a flavor of that, I would say. I don't know that I'd overly associate them with they're more Calvinist than charismatic.
That's an odd combination.
It is.
You don't find many.
Well, but John MacArthur is a Calvinist dispensationalist.
Yeah.
That's kind of. That's not real beaten path either.
But he is vehemently opposed to the charismatic.
He's decidedly cessationist and non-charismatic.
Yeah.
For those of you that were excited about Marcus Pittman and the Chocolate Knox, otherwise known as Hip Hop, formerly of Wretched, they were indeed supposed to be on tonight. They are out doing some pretty big things, and one of them is an abortion video called "Babies Are Murdered Here," and they got the opportunity to go down to Florida and do some filming. And Marcus called me, or not called me, but got with me earlier this week. Let me know that was the case, that he was excited to be on the show, but it wasn't going to happen. If we could excuse him, it was really going to put a crimp on that. And I said, absolutely, do what you got to do, come back, we'll fit you on anytime. So unfortunately for like Seitan Bruggencate, who joins the chat apparently to hear his other brothers, you're not going to hear him tonight. So yeah, you have to listen to us. So maybe Sai can
that's not so bad. I mean,
maybe Sai can call in later, and we'll do some role playing with his presuppositionalism. It'd be kind of fun. We haven't done that in a while. This is Rebels Cause Radio. It's a little bit different of a show tonight. It's the second week in a row we kind of had a canceled guest, which is kind of odd. Leaves us kind of an open forum. If you want to call in, 1-855-244-0077. We're on every Saturday night right here on 99.3 KTIA. Again, if you're listening to us there, though, don't call in. It's too late. We're that show that encourages you to go out and read your Bible, to really take it in, to think about it, to read other books about it, to really dwell on that book. Of course, go to a Bible-believing church. It's really, really important. Love Jesus and forsake the world. This is a Rebels Cause Radio. We'll be right back after these breaks right here on 99.3 KTIA.
Do you ever get tired of pretending that life is perfect? If what they see isn't how you feel, God knows, and He understands. Chat now with someone who cares at groundwire.net.
Hi, this is Dan Fry, one of the hosts of A Rebels Cause Radio. Did you know that you can like us on Facebook? That you can follow us on Twitter? That you can watch our previously recorded shows on YouTube? That you can listen to a live audio stream on Mixlr.com. That's mixlr.com/webcast-1-live. Or that you can email us with any ideas you have for the show at idea@arebelscause.com. And we want to say thank you. We love this show, but we couldn't do it without rebels like you who interact with us on a daily basis through these methods. So thanks for going with us on this journey in search of edifatainment.
Get away from us, you need old credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Help, somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit, you're our hero!
Well, hi, I'm Rob Spearman. I'm a broker-owner of RE/MAX Real Estate Concepts in Des Moines, Iowa. Give us a call if you're looking at buying or selling a home, or if you're having trouble on your mortgage payments or looking to purchase foreclosures. We have the agents to help you, experienced, outstanding agents. Our office number is 515-276-2872. Or if you'd like to look at homes, go to our website, homeconnectusa.com.
Drug and alcohol addiction slowly steals a person's identity, tearing away pieces of their life little by little until one day it seems like the hope of a happy future is gone and there's no chance of getting it back. Here at St. Gregory Retreat Centers, we can assure you that there is hope. Our unique approach to recovery begins with the understanding that the dysfunction and damage caused by addiction can be overcome, not just dealt with. Don't let another day go by. Call St. Gregory today.
Mate, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Don't just sit there. Get involved. This is a Rebels Cause Radio.
That is right. This is a Rebels Cause Radio. I am your host, Dan Fry, also known as Papa Tat, Father Tattoo from J. Michael McCoy's A View from a Pew, heard every day here at 3 o'clock on KTIA. Of course, we've got Mr. Samu L. Hall.
Yeah, it's not actually my name, but it doesn't matter.
Do you get a choice in what I call you?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
We got Dave. Dave that's just a good nickname as it is.
Dave is
sorry,
here.
Dave. I can't do that for
David.
you. Yeah.
Or David.
Yeah, I just like to call you Dave.
Or Dave.
Dave.
Just Dave.
Davey.
Dave.
Yeah. Nah, just Dave.
Dave.
I can't do that for you right now,
Just
Dave.
Dave,
Have you seen
Dave.
Space Odyssey 2001?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that. So, and of course, running the studio, making this all happen, running the shoe, as J. Michael McCoy likes to say it, we've got Mr. Extreme himself, Ryan H. Northfield.
That is not my middle name, my middle initial.
Sorry, Ryan
It is
Z.
now.
Ryan Z.
It's not
Northfield.
Hank.
It's Ryan H. It is Hank, like Hank Hanegraaff. Everybody loves him, right?
Hank the Cow Dog.
Why does people keep bringing up Hank Hanegraaff?
I don't.
It's on the chat again for like the third week in a row.
What are they saying about
They're
him?
comparing
I don't know.
him to John MacArthur.
Well, he's actually...
Is he the Bible answer?
Yeah, Hank
dude?
Hanegraaff, Bible answer man.
Okay.
Pretty sharp guy. I don't know enough about him. Is there something bad? Did somebody call in 1-855-244 and tell me why they 244-0077 and tell me why they hate Hank Hanegraaff? I guess. In the meantime, I want to get back to Francis Chan being a communist. We've kind of talked about moralism a little bit. We've decided we don't know enough about him to make a judgment off this. He's leaving his 4,000 member church, and he's starting, I guess, for lack of a better word, home churches, because he doesn't even really want to call them that, because he wants them not to be confined to a home, which isn't the communistic part. Then he wants them to share with each other, to share resources, to be communal and living in a sense that, like, if you need a shirt and I've got a shirt, you have my shirt. If I need some money and you got some money in your wallet, I take the money out of your wallet.
So, I mean, I don't think that's that uncommon of an idea within church. You know,
No, it's not.
you help people out, but are they like enforcing that? Or
Yeah, I mean, I guess the understanding it now. Realize I'm reading this off of articles produced from like Christian Today and stuff like that, and so I don't have like wasn't sitting in on a meeting and heard this like, but you know, it sounds like they're out in the open, just like this is when if you live here, you will be participating in this.
Do they all live together, or is it?
I think that would ultimately be the idea. And the other models that we would have for churches that have gone this direction, they end up there at least.
Mm-hmm.
So
Living
what do you guys?
together in a compound and
Yeah.
Jim Jones,
like
the
Waco.
Branch
Well,
Davidians.
but what if let's just run this. Let's play with this for a minute. What if it's genuine Christianity lived out this way? Is it possible?
I think it would be looked at as such an abstract, scary thing that people would really shy away from it. I know I would.
I guess if we're divorcing the question from whether or not it's good, right, necessary, wise, all that stuff, and simply ask the question, is it possible for people who are genuine Christians to live in a commune? I suppose we'd have to say the answer is yes, but then qualify it to the moon with but.
Well, and I think what they would be trying to do, my understanding is, and see, people that kind of grab these niches and run with them, they usually point back to something in history, in church history particularly. We see this in the first century church. We see people selling their houses and giving the money to the church and living in this way. However, I guess the distinction,
context.
Yeah, it's a different context. It's an entirely different society and culture.
People don't change, but culture changes.
Culture changes, and that's just not necessary, I guess.
Well, and also now it's kind of popular maybe it's always been popular, but it seems like people are always trying to reinvent Christianity to make it this new hip thing. So it's more appealing, we're doing it a different way.
And hippie communes
Or
are
doing it
kind
the
of
real
up
way.
and around. Like that's not to be negative about them, but that's something that's made her kind of come back a little bit,
Right.
We don't like the Christianity of the Republicans, so we're going to have the Christianity of the communists, forgetting that communism is inherently opposed to any and all forms of religion.
Right.
Yeah, well, at least the father of communism is. I don't know if the idealism itself, but definitely Karl Marx said that Christianity or religion was a useful tool to moderate the masses.
He said it was the opiate for the masses.
Yeah, opiate for the masses.
And now opiates are the religion of the masses.
Oddly enough. Funny from guys who never tried an opiate.
Are you on
opiates right now, John?
Are you high right now?
No. I mean,
he was at hospitals. Maybe he was doing the fake pain thing.
The craziest thing I'm
My
doing
back
right now
really
is
hurts. Do you think
prescription level doses of Tylenol.
Monday afternoon, right here on KTAA, we have a show for you. It's called Restoring Hope: The View from the Pew.
Raising Hope is a great show on television. Is that what you're talking about?
No, this is called Restoring Hope, and it's St. Gregory's Recovery Center sponsors a show every Monday here, and it's all about getting help. So if you need help with that, John,
And if you need someone to give all of your drugs to, I'm always willing to help out.
It's just Tylenol.
Whatever.
He actually does have a big. John actually does have a huge stack. John's an odd cat. Once you get to know John, you got to be around John long enough to really get over something. But he carries around with him at all times this big bag full of random over the counter medicines.
No, I've got Tums. I've got some Imodium, stuff like that. Super
Keep
exciting
going.
stuff.
What else is in there?
What else?
No, just anything
like
that
like Tylenol. I mean, just in
And
case.
Sudafed?
No,
Some kind of cold medicine?
no,
Not today.
not.
He used it all for the last batch.
Yeah.
He's a little low right now.
Oh, John. So I mean, let's get back to this communal living thing, though.
I'm trying to.
Okay. The idea actually isn't unappealing to me.
It's not unappealing?
No, I mean, I know some people are like, I would reject that out of hand. But to me, it would be nice as somebody that spends a lot of their time and effort trying to do other labors for the benefit of the church.
The only way
I could see some beneficial stuff for that. But
the only way I'm going to share a house with you, Dan, is if the church is under such severe persecution that we have to hide in some sort of bunker.
Well, I'm not going to hide. I'm going to take the bullet rather than live with you. Let's be honest.
No, okay. So, but to the thing about people want to reinvent the church, they look at the communal stuff in the Bible. First of all, that's an indicative. That's not an imperative. It's not saying go.
Let's define those. Indicative is
something that explains something to us. Like this is what happened.
Sure.
Imperative is a command.
This is what should happen. Yeah.
So an indicative is this happened. An imperative is go and do likewise.
But just because it's an indicative doesn't mean that we can't repeat it. I mean, again, I think you'd have to do a lot of caveats. Like this doesn't serve this purpose. This doesn't serve this purpose. This doesn't serve this purpose. But is this okay? The one thing I know is any Christian commune that tried to take my guns would have a big problem. Because they're getting those.
No, they're just
a lot
going
of
to give
Christian
them
communes tend to. The Christian communes are the ones that tend to have guns.
Yeah, the scary thing is, but see, I don't know. I mean, you're kind of talking about
the thing that
Jonestown, and that's not really Christian. It's just
no,
that's cold.
Well, I was actually thinking Waco, but
Waco is not Christian. David Koresh thought he was the Christ. There's no
Branch
Christian.
Davidians.
Well, yes, I know. I'm not suggesting
Look
that
at
they're
this.
actually Christians.
This is a Rebels Cause Radio. That show where we actually encourage people to read the Bible and nothing other than the Bible. We
and
encourage
apparently
them.
the Communist Manifesto.
Yeah. We encourage them to go to a Bible-believing church, love Jesus, forsake the world, and the Branch Davidian cult.
Amen.
Yeah, that's what we do. Rebels Cause Radio, right here on 99.3 KTIA. We will see you right after this break.
Fight the good fight on a Rebels Cause Radio. Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on a rebelscause.com. A Rebels Cause Radio is edutainment.
It's like they want to get hit.
Need a body shop?
Minor Wreck Express saves you time and money.
Do you ever get tired of pretending that life is perfect? If what they see isn't how you feel, God knows, and He understands. Chat now with someone who cares at groundwire.net.
Get away from us, you mean old credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit, you're our hero!
Here I come to save the day. That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way.
Don't just sit there, get involved. This is a Rebels Cause Radio.
Welcome to Rebels Cause Radio. We're the show. Rebels Cause Radio. Today, this isn't easy.
You thought my job was easy. I give Sam. This is a Rebels Cause Radio. I am your host, Dan Fry. I tried to let Sam bring us in from the break,
and he ruined the whole thing.
And he's going rabbit hunting later on. Talk about guns. We would talk about a little bit of Francis Chan. We're talking about his communal living idea. We're kind of graduating into that. I think we're going to talk about guns. You're a gun guy.
I'm a gun guy.
I'm a gun guy. I'm a gun guy. We got two gun guys in the room.
Hey, I'm a gun guy.
You're not. Well,
you're not really. You
not
like
yet.
guns, but
we
you're not.
We
a
haven't
gun.
gone shooting yet. So
Before we do this,
it's okay.
This is how much I love John.
Oh boy.
John and I, we had a friend Misai that used to be on the show. You sit right there. He got killed by a mountain lion. He was fleeing the state of Iowa. The mountain lion attacked him. Now
he's burning in Arizona.
Weirdly enough, the mountain lion has skinned him and is wearing his skin. It's very awkward. I know, like a horror story awkward.
Have they arrested the mountain lion, or is he still on the run?
Well, I think he's still on the lam.
Okay.
So
the mountain lion technically didn't break the law.
But his wife, this guy's wife, they're from Laos, and his wife made some awesome pho, which is a Vietnamese soup.
Mm-hmm.
And
is that what you were eating earlier?
That was what I was eating earlier.
And you put raw meat in it.
I put raw meat in it. It's very good. Yeah. Well, I found a new pho restaurant for you to try.
Oh, I know about it. I've never been there, but I know about it.
So I brought you a coupon. See, this is me. I brought John a coupon for food.
Wow, Dan.
How Christian of you.
This means the room to me.
10% 10% off, which oddly, after you pay tax, is only like paying 4% less than you would have paid if they hadn't just charged tax.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
But actually, I do got really good banh mi sandwiches. Saigon Cafe, Saigon Pho Cafe, or Pho Saigon. Pho Saigon. There we go. I'm trying to read it, and you're moving it around. It's Pho Saigon.
Pho Saigon.
Yeah, but that doesn't really matter.
It sounds like they're saying. Sounds like you're saying fuss.
Yeah. Well, we are making a fuss at it because I'm just trying to kill radio time.
So we're promoting Pho Saigon restaurant.
I don't know that we're promoting.
Let's talk about guns.
So I like guns. Everybody's up in arms about this. Obama's going to take all our guns. What did you see Obama's speech yesterday, or read the Cliff Notes?
Interestingly enough, I was at a gun shop with my grandpa while he was talking, so I missed like his actual speech. But I heard about some of the things that he's going to restrict and basically, he's going to try to bring back the Clinton-era gun ban, the Brady bill. And in that, there's a lot of random things. They're going to ban high-capacity magazines and I think, bayonet lugs and flash suppressors, and really a lot of things that don't really make a gun more or less dangerous. So it's kind of, it really won't solve anything. It doesn't really affect whether or not somebody's going to use a gun to commit a crime or not.
Well, what it's going to do is it's going to disarm the people who would use it just to defend themselves from people committing crimes with it.
I don't even know that I would go. Yeah, I don't even know if I go that. Here's the thing. I'm a gun guy, but a lot of gun guys are really upset about all this stuff, and I'm like, I didn't really see anything that was overly that surprising.
Well, the mandatory background checks, I think, is what makes people.
Well, they already have that. See,
yeah,
I'm okay with the mandatory background check.
And to be honest, if you've been institutionalized for like schizophrenia, I'm kind of against you having a gun.
Yeah, I think there are definitely people that should not have guns.
Yeah.
I'm not against that, but basically when the reason that people are so upset about this is because people see this as the first step. Okay, first they're after the 30-round magazines. First they're after the little things, and then they take a step further, and then they say, okay, well, you can't have anything.
They start limiting ammunition.
Yeah. They'll say you can't have anything over 9mm caliber, or you can't have a rifle. Or
well, with anything, there's the potential to be a slippery slope. The one thing that I guess where I come back to, and I love my guns. I have no intention of really wanting to give them up. That morning when Sandy Hook happened, as a father, I thought about what would I do if my smiling baby boys that went to school that morning giving me hugs and kisses were sitting cold dead and in a coffin.
Yeah.
And if giving up my guns would protect you or any other parent from experiencing that, if you could prove to me that it would help, that it would even give that a chance of not happening, my guns would be gone tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't have any kids, but when that morning, I have 2 little brothers that are in school, and I texted my mom right away, and I mean, I knew they were fine, but I just texted her and I said, how are the boys doing? And she's like, oh, they're fine. And it was just, I don't know, it was just kind of like me feeling, I don't know.
You kind of feel vulnerable. You're like, what do I do? And this, because the fact of the matter is, I like guns, and a gun that I've never owned a Bushmaster because I have way too good of taste to have such a crappy brand of AR. But Bushmasters are cheap.
No,
they're junk.
No,
get a DPMS, way better gun.
They're not.
Are you guys having a shootout over guns?
I think there's going to be a shootout.
I'm a gun snob, and I don't know that my friend over here, Dave, is as much of a gun snob as I am. I wouldn't have owned a Bushmaster. I don't think it's high quality enough of a weapon, but I do like the AR. Big fan of it.
Right.
I enjoyed my AR. I used it for prairie dog hunting. It was a lot of fun. Got a good A-team story about a prairie dog and missed 25 times. I know, it's kind of embarrassing. The whole story is, but it was fun. In the moment, it was great fun, and it was safe. It was good.
25 shots, I mean, it took you
and I didn't hit a prairie
3
dog.
magazines or
no, one magazine.
One
magazine.
Right, yeah.
30 rounds.
I just forgot about that.
Because right now we can have those dangerous, deadly 30-round magazines.
Otherwise, you're just going to buy 3
people.
10-round magazines or 4 of them.
That's right. Because that makes all the difference.
It will take 3 seconds longer.
Mass shooting. He killed 30 people with a 30-round magazine.
But if he had only the 25, this wouldn't.
It would not.
It would have been 25 less people. Because that 1 second. See, the problem is when you change out a magazine in like an assault rifle. What is it? 1 second?
I don't know.
I think it's 1 second.
Not that.
I know that speed loading a revolver, people got it under 2. And that's a revolver.
Jerry Michalik is the world's fastest shooter with a revolver, and he fired 8 rounds out of a 357 in I think 1 second.
Yeah, and I think he can reload.
He fired
under a second too.
Or he fired 6 rounds, reloaded, and then fired another 6 rounds in under 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You watch it on YouTube; it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, the guy's really fast. So my I guess my thought process is on some of these laws, I think they're kind of rather ineffective. Sure. But I'm willing to have the conversation about what do we do to protect these children. And that's the thing that we're getting pigeonholed. Oh, you guys don't want to have the conversation. It's like, yes, we do. We just kind of wanted to dispense with the facts.
And I think that's a lot of what's
Wait a second, I said that.
You said that totally
wrong. We just
wrong.
don't want to dispense with the facts to have the conversation. It was really weird. On the other side, I sat on a show yesterday, and they're like, well, when Australia got rid of their guns, violent rape went up, several percents. And it's like, well, I don't know that those two are necessarily, because about 10 years ago, Australia got their guns grabbed.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, 10 years ago, the internet was blossoming. And I don't know that violent rape is necessarily any more connected to the guns being gone than the explosion of pornography across the internet.
It's a logical fallacy to say that just because this happened and this happened afterwards, it was caused by the previous
I think
you're citing the post hoc ergo propter hoc.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't think those are two things that even sensibly. I guess and
I could see if like edged weapon crimes went up.
Yeah.
You know, attacks with knives or clubs or something.
Yeah.
But rape, I don't really know how that's connected.
Yeah, so I mean, even from our side, we're getting some people that are willing to dispense with the facts and try to force stuff like that. And it's like, let's just be honest. Let's be realistic about this, and let's try to protect children's lives and make laws that are safe and good meaning. You know, what's that look like? I don't know. We'll talk about that some more next hour. For those of you on KTIA, man, you're leaving on a good note, which means you need to go to www.arebelscause.com, click the watch and listen, and you can find all the links to iTunes, Podbeam, our YouTube account, and you can hear the rest of this show. For those of you on Webcast One Live, we'll be back in just a few minutes. This is Rebels Cause Radio. We're that show that encourages you to read your Bible, to go to church, a good Bible-believing church. Maybe
and don't buy Bushmaster.
Yeah, don't buy Bushmaster. And of course, love Jesus. The Bible is centered around Jesus for a reason. We ask you to love Jesus. And forsake the world. The Rebels Cause Radio. Have a good night. Oh, well, I just did our whole outro. And apparently we have a whole nother minute. That's awkward. That's really awkward.
Yeah, Dan, the whole thing's 2 minutes long.
I know. I forgot, dude. That's my bad. It's my bad. So anyway.
Well, we have to look forward to our February Black History Month.
Yeah, Black History Month. This February coming up. Quahana, right off the bat. It looks like Propaganda might be on board. Of course, we have Chocolate Knox signed up. Ivy Connerly, Jovan McKenzie. It'll be just a cool celebration of Black History Month. Something that maybe is a little weird for a bunch of white guys to be excited about, but I'm really excited about. Hopefully, we'll really find some things we have in common rather than see what's different. I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. It's just gonna be cool. It's a cool project. I'm excited about it. Missio Day project coming out. Check YouTube for that.
If you haven't seen the promo video for it, the teaser video, go check that out.
Yep. All right. Good night, KTIA. We'll see you next week.
Fight the good fight on a Rebels Cause Radio. Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on a rebelscause.com. A Rebels Cause Radio is edutainment.
Get away from us, you mean old credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Help! Somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit, you're our hero!
Well, hi, I'm Rob Spearman. I'm a broker-owner of RE/MAX Real Estate Concepts in Des Moines, Iowa. Give us a call if you're looking at buying or selling a home, or if you're having trouble on your mortgage payments or looking to purchase foreclosures. We have the agents to help you, experienced, outstanding agents. Our office number is 515-276-2872. Or if you'd like to look at homes, go to our website, homeconnectusa.com.
Hi, I'm J. Michael McCoy, and about 20 years ago, I went to a used car salesman by the name of John Hewitt. He had a little shop over there on North 2nd Avenue called John's Auto Sales, and I bought a car. I found that experience to be one that I had never had before from a used car salesman. He was honest, he was dependable, he had integrity, and he did what he said he was going to do. Well, over the years, between my kids and grandkids, I've purchased 7 vehicles from John's Auto Sales. And last month, I asked him to be a sponsor. And he said not only would he like to be a sponsor, but he would offer a $100 tithe for every customer that came and bought a car from him directly to the church of your choice. I can tell you about their huge selection. I can tell you about their years of experience. I can tell you about their honest integrity. But all I really need to tell you is that I bought 7 cars, and you can trust them. John's Auto Sales, 5435 2nd Avenue, Des Moines.
You need a good ride when you hit the trail. Trust the man with the cars, and he goes by the name of Big John. Big John. Big John.
our Uzis right at all those non-tithing members because we want God to come to church. And at the count of 3 Jesuses, we'd shoot them all dead.
Say what?
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the world, dog.
Say what again? Say what again?
I believe that Jesus is the way to the one God, but I believe there are many paths to Jesus.
That don't make no sense.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense, sir.
Evidently, Mr. Ringo's an educated man. Now I really hate him.
You know what happens when you compromise and men finally get an opportunity to preach the gospel? Having compromised and sinned against God, you know what? If you preach the gospel, even if you compromise and get an opportunity to eventually preach the gospel, some are going to mock you, some will hear you further, and some will believe. You know what happens when you don't compromise and God opens an opportunity for you to preach the gospel? Some will mock you, some will listen to you further, and some will believe. So why bother compromising in the first place?
Welcome back to the second hour of A Rebel's Cause Radio with your host, that tattooed freak of a man, Dan Fry.
That is right. I am that tattooed freak of a man, Dan Fry. Thankfully, now that we're past the radio hour, I don't have to repeat exactly what people are listening to all the time. I know for you podcasters, that's really weird, but you got to think radio is a different animal than podcasts. You come to the podcast, you're coming to listen to us, you know who we are. Radios tune in and out, and you kind of have to reintroduce yourself. It's an awkward transition for us. I'm sorry if it's awkward for you as well. It does take up a lot of time. I will give you that. That was a goofy first hour because we kind of came to this hoping to have one conversation, and it kind of morphed into a couple different conversations. One of the conversations that was asked that we could address on chat was the AFC and NFC championship games. And I just want to tell you that since God's team is not playing, and
the Packers are not playing.
Bill Belichick is there, so God's team is
No.
there.
God's team is the Bears and will not be changed from the Bears. And since the Bears did not make it
in this house,
this
God's
year,
team is the Packers. My house.
Well, you know the joke where
John,
hey, you know what?
John's blasphemy.
You know what though? This is one area, guys, listeners, where there is no unity in the house.
No, I don't think
I don't think there's any two people in this staff.
John likes the team I hate
teams.
the most. It's very awkward. That's kind of.
So how did you come to the conclusion that God liked one team over the other?
Chapter and verse, please.
Yeah, where's that verse?
There's
in the book of Second Opinions. It's in the book of Second Opinions.
Yeah, it's
Second Opinions. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just there.
It's after the
I
book
just
of
like
maps.
to call the Bears God's team. It's just I don't know. It's something I've been doing for years.
I don't know what the joke is though, right? There's a Packers fan and there's a Patriots fan in heaven, and they're walking around and it says, okay, so this is your house, and this is, and the Packers fan had Packers paraphernalia in his house because it was his favorite house, and then he was like, and then he looks over and he sees a house that has a big house, like the biggest house in heaven, and it has it's covered in Patriots paraphernalia. It's got flags and helmets and jerseys, and he says, well, why does Belichick get a bigger house than I do? He's like, oh no, that's God's house.
That's horrible. So,
repent.
I'm going to agree.
Oh, is that is the whole joke over now?
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the punchline.
Though, that is kind of funny, though, because, something I've been thinking a lot lately is how we mischaracterize or make caricatures. I can't talk tonight or any other night for that matter.
Rebel's Cause Radio.
Yeah, Rebel's Cause Radio. See, it's hard now because you're you got pressure to say stuff and you're trying to push it out rather than you get to respond to stuff. Responding to a radio question is way easier. When you're the guy in the captaincy, it's a lot harder.
Well, I can speak from experience. I've been in that chair 3 times. 2 of them you were in Ryan's seat. 1 of them you were completely gone. And I know it's much easier to sit in my chair than it is to sit in yours.
So anyway, but we make these caricatures of what heaven and hell.
Caricatures.
I said caricatures.
No, close.
Yeah, close.
Sounded like you said carrot chairs.
There we go. We make these carrot chairs. No, caricatures. I have a lisp. It's just I didn't even recognize it till I came on the radio, and now I'm like, oh, I didn't know I had a lisp. That's interesting. Anyway, so we make these kind of fictitious views of what heaven and hell look like. hell we paint as this, the devil's whipping you, and the demons are poking you with sticks, and heaven is this great place where there's guys playing football in the yard, drinking beer, and whatever you love here is there.
I love that. There's the Audio Adrenaline song, "Come and Go with Me to My Father's House. He'll be gone for the weekend."
Yeah, that's it, but we make those. We make these fictitious kind of thought processes, and we don't really dwell on the seriousness. Particularly, let's go back to the hell part. Hell was made for the devil and the demons, and they're going to be screaming out in torture right alongside those burning in hell.
They're not. They're not the masters of hell torturing sinners.
Right. They're co-heirs, in that sense. And so that's, I don't know. This giving Satan so much weird, awkward power all over the place. You got to wonder where the root is in that.
Well, I don't think we really need to wonder all that much where the root is in that.
He's the shameless self-promoter.
Yes.
I hear.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
Speaking of self-promotion, this is Rebels.
Just like the devil.
Yeah. Me and Satan got a colored pass.
Oh, that's interesting. Have you guys listened to the Paul Harvey did this back in the 60s, and it was called
and now the rest of the story. Wait a second. Nope, it's time for break.
No. Go
I'm
ahead.
taking these eye things, eye medicines, that make my eyes better because I got glaucoma. What he did those eye ads for years. What was it?
Ocular nutrition.
Yeah, ocular nutrition.
Like
ocular. Yeah, he did those. Okay, and now for the rest of the story. Go back to what you're saying.
Are you for real now?
Yeah.
I was just joking. No, he did this thing called If I Were the Devil, and he's basically talking about, if I were the devil, this is how I'd ruin everything. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've but I was going to say, not by that name, but C.S. Lewis did the same thing on a more protracted scale. He called it the Screwtape Letters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very good book. But no, this, I think it's just like 2 or 3 minutes, and he's just talking about how he would corrupt, he said, first of all, I'd convince everyone that I don't exist. I would convince everyone that there's no such thing as evil and going on and on. And then basically, to sum it up, he goes, if I were the devil, I would just keep on doing what I'm doing right now. But it was just kind of an interesting view of the way things are going. And this was back in the 60s.
The more you talk about it, the more familiar it sounds to me.
I've heard it.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah,
just type in "If I Were the Devil."
Yeah, it's a real popular thing. Yeah, no, but it's really interesting. I don't know that that's what happened. Look at the evangelical church and the focus we put on the devil, though. We don't pretend he doesn't exist. We pretend like he's next to God.
Well, I think I'm probably wildly paraphrasing, but I think that was in the Screwtape Letters. Convince if you can't convince, you either convince people that the devil doesn't exist or that he's the supremely powerful thing that you must be terrified
C.S.
of.
Lewis tensions the two. In the foreword, he says, there's two ditches that we fall into.
Stole my line.
I don't know that he actually used ditches, but he said there's two positions we tend to fall into. Either we don't give the devil his due, or we give him too much credit.
We make him the boogeyman.
And so, and I'm definitely, when I read that line, I remember going, I'm the guy that doesn't give him his due. That's me. I don't need the devil. I have Dan Fry. Like the devil's kind of like, well, dude, you could do your job, but I'll do it better.
And the thing that people also need to realize is the devil is not omnipotent.
You stole you went exactly where I was going to go with that.
So
omnipotent.
John,
omnipresent is where I was going to go.
That's what I meant to say.
I like this guy better. You can go home now.
All right, see you guys.
Okay, see you later, John. Go ahead and mute his mic. He's going to pack up.
Yeah, see ya.
So Dave, you're the new co-host. Dave's been here. We'll just take your head and stick it on all the stuff.
Just make a mask.
Yeah.
What are they called? Fat heads? Those things that...
You say John's got a fat head?
Yes, but also the sticker thing is called a fat head that you put on your wall.
You know what I love is that you met John, an hour and 15 minutes ago?
An hour ago, I'm already calling him a fat head.
I like it. We're on the same page. Yeah, totally. John, you're in trouble.
Whatever. I get more time to stay home and play Sega.
There you go. He could be with his God. So anyway, now we're done talking about football.
Wait. We got people on the chat saying that we need our P nerd, so I guess I'm not going.
Well, they're overstating your case. If they heard Roloff more regularly, I think they could replace you pretty easily.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Roloff has a much more aggressive stage presence, though. He's
a better radio guy for sure, but he's a better radio guy than me. He
really is more like Bear Hugger. He really is.
Yeah. Okay. I see where you're going. I was trying to get him to come tonight. I really was. Like I was goading him. He's like, no. You know, you met Roloff last night. Big.
Oh
guy.
yeah.
Big guy. He's tons of fun. Not just because he's a big.
I like
guy.
his impression of the smokers.
It was kind of funny. The guy smokes cigars.
Yeah, the guy that smokes a cigar is like, you know, the guy that smokes cigarettes usually out in the cold going.
Yeah,
which is accurate.
You kind of have to be in a theology discussion group to catch that one, though.
Yeah,
it doesn't translate as well here.
Airing the dirty laundry of the Bible study on the air.
Hey, we're Presbyterians. Right. We're not afraid.
Nope. Presbyterians, you know, typically not opposed to cigars and pipes. Interesting sociology study, though. I was out on most of the listeners, I don't talk about this very often because it's a stumble spot for some, but most of the listeners know that I'm the occasional cigar and pipe tobacco guy. Mm-hmm. And I was at a job where they had a smoke dock and there was all these people out there huffing down these filthy cigarettes. And I went out there with my pipe and I thought this would be an interesting sociology study to see how they react. And they looked at me like I was the disgusting one. You know, here they are with their cancer-causing 99% artificial cigarettes. Here I am with this sophisticated pipe, and I'm the filthy one.
That is odd, because I mean, do you inhale a pipe, or I mean, I've smoked a pipe.
I typically don't.
No,
you can.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's completely.
I mean, I've
it's a
smoked
lot
pipe
stronger
before,
than cigarettes.
but it's stronger than cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really want to do that. Inhale it too much. It'll make you probably pretty sick pretty quick. You get pretty green if you hang out in a smoking room too long. I can't hang with John. John likes that a little better.
Well, you know, I figured if this was one of my last episodes, according to the chat, Dan, I would just go ahead and out myself about that.
Yeah, fair enough. So anyway, kind of back to we were originally kind of talking about guns. We got any more to say on guns? I don't know how guns and Christianity and why Christian radio is really fixated on also discussing guns.
Well, I think the reason is because you might have said something about this earlier, but typically Christians are viewed as Republicans, and so therefore we should be concerned about Republican issues. And really, I think that's the only reason.
Yeah, the only.
But not every Christian likes guns. Not every Christian owns guns.
Not every Christian's Republican.
Not every Christian's Republican. I'm not a Republican.
But but the one thing I'm not saying it's impossible. I do find it problematic that a Christian would really be a hardcore Democrat. Like I could see being like, oh, I like some of the social issues and they're the viable party, but to actually embrace a lot of, this year, like I would have never said that even 4 years ago, but this election cycle, the abortion issue came up so much and was such a predominant topic. You know, it's not a we're leaving it on the shelf topic. It was Mitt Romney's trying to force us to abort babies. I didn't vote for Mitt Romney either. I don't like that guy either. But they really, I mean, they pushed it like that was their main issue. I was actually kind of in disbelief that a country would hear the transparency of, we want to be able to abort our babies, and how dare you tell us what to do with our bodies. Message would resound so well. It was depressing.
One of the things that was so interesting in a very negative way. I call myself the reluctant Republican. I'm a registered Republican. I'm not Mr. Mr. Republican, kind of thing.
Sure.
And those watching the webcast saw how ridiculous that looked. But yes, ideologically, I'm more in line with a Republican economic policy.
Sure.
I have big problems with the democratic system. But the biggest reason that I voted Republican was because of the moral, the moral issues, mm-hmm. right? Well, after this election, now the Republican Party is saying, I think in order to win, we need to ditch these moral issues. So now it's like, if the moral issues are the big ones for me, I don't have a home among the major parties.
And I think a lot of people feel that way. This election,
I feel disenfranchised.
I
from
felt
the political
like
system altogether.
I felt like this election there was more promotion of third-party candidates than I had at least noticed before.
Yeah,
and I think that's why, because
I think so too.
For the first time,
I voted third party for the first time.
Yeah, I didn't vote, but
fair enough. Good choice. Some people will think that
he slept in. That's why he slept until like 9
I don't
PM.
care. I mean, that's a good choice in my book.
But yes,
I voted Virgil Good. Thank you for reminding me, chat. he didn't do me any good.
With or without knee.
What?
Oh,
we're making snide comments. See, podcast hour is so much different because we don't actually have to like not address chat and like
sure.
It's just much laid down. Sorry, go ahead. We digress.
I forgot what I was saying.
Good.
There you go.
I don't understand politics well enough to even decide on Republican or Democrat.
Well, do you want to be with the party that's like one of their proponents?
Do you want to go to heaven or hell? That's the.
If you want to go to heaven, you can't be a Democrat. And if you want to go to hell, then you could be either one.
Oh, wait, what? No, I get it. No, I didn't even really want to vote for Mitt Romney, but
I didn't vote for Mitt Romney. I refused to vote for a cult leader.
So, did you vote for Mitt Romney?
No,
I might have. I mean, no, of course I
that's
didn't.
personal. I'm sorry. Had there?
I really don't, care what people think.
No,
well, you should care what people think. That's kind of rude and childish.
About how I voted.
Well, you should still care. You should want people not. You should not think you've cornered the market on understanding this so well that other people's opinions.
I just
don't
admitted
matter.
to not knowing enough to be.
I know. So I think.
I think you have a really, really insufficient foundation for being so arrogant.
Yeah.
Dang it!
That's really a weird thing to say.
This is so frustrating.
I care what people think. Ultimately, that decision's mine, and whether I made it well or not, I will pay the consequences. Theoretically, and they may pay the consequences for me doing it poorly too. I understand.
Would God send me to hell for voting Democratic?
Yes.
No, I
don't think so. I can't back that up.
Yeah, there's no chapter. There's no chapter and verse.
Did Paul talk about that?
Paul was a libertarian.
Okay. Oh, what? No.
Ron Paul. He's talking about.
Oh, right.
You were talking about the other Paul, that guy, also libertarian.
The Apostle Ron Paul, right? No, but
no.
Now it's Rand Paul. Just so you know.
Yeah, I was talking about Rand.
No, whatever. I don't care about politics. Why are we talking about politics?
Just kind of disappointed he actually had children.
Because you did no show prep, and so we can't have any real conversations because you don't know anything.
Hey, I can man the chats while you guys who did the show preps have a real conversation.
You guys want to talk about contextualization of Christianity to Muslim nation?
Sure. I mean, you printed off the thing.
I did.
So
there's these mission works in Islamic countries now that are trying to deliver the gospel and properly or improperly in some cases divide culture and the gospel and try to get them in. Because then one thing I do think our mission works traditionally and continuously do bad is we try to push our culture in with the gospel message when really that's not the call, the commission. The commission is to bring the gospel message, not necessarily our culture. Our culture isn't really relevant. The gospel is.
We understand Christianity from an American culture or American perspective, so we assume that everyone who's going to be a Christian needs to understand it from an American perspective. Is that what you're saying?
Say that slower into the mic.
I would say it into the mic.
Yeah, I think you would agree with what.
Yeah, I think so.
He basically, this is how I view Christianity, so this is how you should view Christianity.
Yeah, we paired in there. In fact, there was a book, and I can't remember what was it. Allen, the guy's last name was Allen, that was writing the book. His missionary talked about how the United States missionaries, in general, just do it wrong. We go there, we set up camp, we live there forever, and we until they've adopted our culture. When biblically, we don't have a defense for that type of work.
Yeah, but with this, reading this, the article. You got it off of Christianity Today.
Christianity Today, yeah. So if you want to see the article, you can go to Christianity Today, check it out.
It's called "How Much Muslim Context is Too Much for the Gospel." But reading this, I think that some of the things that they're allowing, I disagree with. I mean, for instance, it says here, to some it is still now. This is Christians going in and sharing the gospel with Muslims and converting Muslims. To some, it is still permissible to recite the creed, there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger.
Which I think is way too far.
Oh, yeah.
Way too far.
But,
read a reasonable one now, contrast.
Okay. New believers are still known as Muslims, like they still identify themselves as Muslims.
Okay, I don't know if that's too far enough. I mean, what do you do in that situation? A Jew is still a Jew, right? We allow that. You can be a Christian and still Jewish, right?
Yeah, but this is different because within Islam, how it works is in Islam, there's the belief that everyone is born a Muslim.
Sure, I
You're
understand.
all born a Muslim, and then you sin and you walk away from God and everything. So when you come back to, or you convert to Islam, you're actually just coming back to the faith that you once had, in the belief in that there is only one God and Muhammad is his messenger. And so by still identifying yourself as a Muslim, you're still embracing that ideology that you were born within the grace of God and that you lose your salvation, and then later on you come back to your salvation, which is completely wrong. And not only that, I mean, if it'd be like, if I used to be an atheist or something and I'm a Christian, I say, well, I'm still an atheist. I mean, when you identify as a Muslim, let's say, you're identifying with that particular group of people.
Yeah.
And so if you come up to someone and you're a Christian, but you say, I'm a Muslim, I mean, that makes no sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. So find something that's good.
Okay.
Well, here's
that's why I thought you were trying to build a case that's good. And I'm like, I was trying to support you there.
I'll throw out a word that was thrown around in the chat that really weighs in on this really well.
Okay.
Syncretism.
Okay.
Syncretism is bad. Syncretism. Does anyone here not know what syncretism is?
I can tear
Me
apart
too.
the word and figure it out.
Does it mean you try to
sync up things?
You try to
mash together.
Syncretism is where, like, I want to follow Yahweh, but the culture is Baal. So I want to follow Yahweh and Baal and find some way to kind of smash them together.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Syncretism.
Pluralism?
That's kind of what the Baha'i faith has done.
Well, Baha'i, I'm no expert on Baha'i, but if I understand Baha'i right, it's basically all religions are right.
No. They have certain...
They've cornered the market on truth.
Yeah, but they it's not all religions. Like, they don't accept Mormonism or Scientology.
Those intolerant.
They had a big Hollywood guy leave Scientology.
Tom Cruise?
No, it wasn't Tom Cruise.
No, he's not pragmatic enough to.
Yeah, there was some director that left. It was the most famous guy that ever left Scientology.
Wow.
And then he kind of threw stones on the way out. It was kind of interesting. I was that popped up. I was searching for something that popped up, and he left. I guess there's a lot of like child labor abuse type things where they're working kids 18 hours a day or something like that. Crazy.
Yeah, it's
I don't even understand where that comes from.
Is a insane cult.
Yeah, well, and that's he said. Is it a cult? Absolutely.
But
So,
I mean, yeah.
I wonder though if you asked the same guy if he thought Christianity was a cult, what he would answer though. So kind of interesting. So anyway, back to give me a good example of something that's allowable. I think one we could say, like, I think it's okay to allow them to dress in the traditional clothes that they've been wearing the whole time, because culturally that would make sense.
What about Sharia law?
What about Sharia law?
Isn't that like
Sharia law probably is
Sharia
outside of that veil.
Sharia law is the adherence to the
Muslim customs.
Yeah.
Muslim law.
I mean,
yeah, that would be outside that veil, I think.
I haven't read the article, but
Or
it
any other article.
Well, you didn't give me any links.
You didn't.
I said text. You could text me with some information so I could at least be thinking about it. But anyway, I think we can really make it this simple. If a theological point is not compromised in the name of reaching the culture, then maybe it's a helpful thing. But when we sacrifice the doctrine and theology and sacrifice that on the altar of cultural relevance,
the truth
then we've crossed the line. And look at the American church today. Has it not done that?
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
The American church is an over-contextualized abandonment of the gospel for the culture. Now, of course, I'm painting with a hugely broad brush there.
But now there's a big thing to recontextualize it, and I'm afraid this will go too far the opposite direction. We try to...
We find ourselves in one ditch, we leap out with such gusto, we land in the other.
Here's a good one that they keep. It says that they cleanse their feet, hands, and face prior to worship. I don't really see anything wrong with that.
Yeah,
I think if you want to, take a bath before you go to church,
I think that's wonderfully kind thing to do to the rest of the people in the church.
It's a kind thing to do. And on top of that, it kind of makes sense.
Maybe we should adopt that one.
Well, we live in a culture now that tells you can wear whatever you want to church. And I'm a guy that wears whatever I want to church. So I'm not saying that we have to stick to that, because I think on one end you'll end up in legalism. But there is something to be said for desiring to look your best for a holy God, and seeking to serve that God.
Didn't I call in on my first episode ever where I wasn't on?
Yeah, and you called in. We had just kind of covered.
I wasn't listening to the show. I just
we're like thanks, John, for covering something we just did.
This doesn't feel right. Me not being here, so I called in.
Yeah, without listening. That was really the bad moment. See, like whatever. I Skyped in one. I listened for like the first 15 minutes before I Skyped in, so I wasn't just randomly way out of context. John calls in. Is like, well, here's what I think about it. It's like, well, we just said that verbatim. Are you writing notes and then reiterating? I don't know. But, I think that's an okay thing. I mean, I think that's a worthy cause to say, hey, look, part of the reason I dress up for churches, I want to look my best, and this is the way that I think I look best, and so I want to present myself to God that way. I would say the danger in that is when you look at Sam and you go, Sam, you have to dress the same way, because that's the way I think you look best to God.
No, because your clothes would not fit me.
Well,
they'd be way too loose.
Your clothes would not fit me. Mine would cover you. Yours would be like fat man in a little coat.
It'd look like you were wearing a muumuu.
So, thanks for making fun of my weight. You don't really sense.
No.
This guy.
I can say that. No, I can say this again because you haven't heard it. Everyone else here and on the air has heard it.
So let's just
when we started the show
for Sam's sake, let's torture everybody else.
It was Sam, it was Ryan, it was me and Dan, and we commented that we have 2 young kids and they're fat chaperones.
John made that up. I don't think I'm nearly as fat as he is.
It's watching the video did show just how I used to think of myself as fat-ish, but maybe that's a little generous.
I'm far smaller than Ryan.
I actually tried to be generous to you there and tried not to capture as much of that. It was hard.
I am a fat guy.
We're pleasantly plump. But anyway, we digress. Man, I just don't have anything on my mind to talk about tonight. This is a weird night for me. I don't know why I'm not into the conversation.
Well, let's talk a little bit more, and without blowing too much of what's coming. Let's talk a little bit more about this Missio Day.
Well. Okay. Well, we need to really talk about Black History Month because we're coming up on this big deal. We've scheduled some big guests, so let's not forget that too. Well, basically, we finally kind of put the brass to the tacks and said, let's schedule time and shoot these videos. And so, last Thursday?
It was a week ago today.
Okay, last Thursday we set up in a nightclub of all places.
A country and western nightclub.
A country western nightclub.
Doing spoken word, which is almost kind of a cousin to rap in a country bar.
Yeah. Well, but is rap a cousin to the calling out of the dances? Because they do the square dances. They got the callers. So
it's very similar.
I don't think that no correlation in any way, shape, or form. Actually.
Probably closer to an auctioneer, but
so we did that. Yeah. What's funny is that club actually. It doesn't matter. It turns to a regular nightclub at like 10 o'clock on Saturdays.
Is that why you see Eminem plastered on a country bar?
That's why you have a country bar, and then you see a picture of Eminem, and it's very awkward.
Nothing says country.
And it doesn't even it really barely looks like Eminem. I was surprised you guys recognized. If it didn't have the Detroit D, I don't know. But anyway, so we did these. We laid out one. John, what was the title of your poem? I didn't remember.
Oh, it was not a very graceful name for the poem. I was envisioning this being like a part 1 of a 2 or 3 part on the subject of sin. Part 2 was going to be the continuing or the corruption of indwelling sin, and I had no idea what part 3 would be. But part 1 is the one I recorded. Is Sin Part 1: The Active Rebellion of Sin.
Yeah, so we're going to work on the title for John's poem.
No, it's actually kind of Puritanish. The poem isn't.
John, I can't. How am I going to get that in Google search? Okay, dude, you got to shorten that up. We'll get back to your title.
The Active Rebellion of Sin. There you go.
Can we do like the acronym catchy. For that?
I mean, yeah, that's when the title is as long as the poem itself.
Yeah, that's a bad name. And then I did mine, which is called "Who Am I?"
It is a good poem, though. I like John's poem.
I like John's poem a lot. I was actually very pleasantly surprised.
I haven't heard the poem. I'm just judging the title.
Yeah.
So
Should I tell him off the air, or should he have to wait for the video?
You have to wait for the video.
I'll wait for the video.
So I didn't mind. Mine kind of centered around being dead in sin and being called to the cross. I mean, I guess it was about an effectual call.
Did you read my write-up?
On?
I shared the video, and I had a new write-up on it.
I haven't seen the new write-up, no.
Okay.
So those are out on Facebook. If you see the preview, it's kind of fun. You know, I spent a lot of time doing the preview, and then I realized it's kind of silly to spend a whole lot of time on that because it's just a preview of something that is pretty short. So I don't know. It was a lot of fun. We're trying stuff. So Black History Month is next month. Pretty excited about the Chocolate Knox, otherwise known as Hip Hop from Wretched Radio.
It'll be nice to talk to him again.
That guy's stellar. He's a good radio guy.
Yeah, he's got it. Well, he really added. Now, Wretched Radio is so. I mean, centered around Todd Friel, and Todd Friel's such a great character that the show's not going to sync without hip hop. But he really did add to the show.
Yeah, you know, somebody asked if we were gonna have Vodi Bakum on. You know, originally that was part of the idea. It just didn't work out.
I would love to have him.
We would love to get on maybe next year. We're gonna try to do this. You know, we somebody was asking why we do this. Why would we make a big deal out of it? And because, quite frankly, we're trying to understand culturally some differences that maybe we miss. You know, maybe you know, I just don't see any reason why we wouldn't celebrate with our brothers that are of a different color than us as they go through this month. That they kind of look back at the history, and we're going to do it from an interesting perspective. We're not only going to deal with the subject of race and racism in like episode 1, but I also want to realistically go back and look at the contributions to the church that the African American or just the black person, you know, in general worldwide had contributed, which will include guys like the Chocolate Knox and
I mean, Jesus wasn't white.
Yeah.
No, I've said it before. I mean, this white Jesus thing is garbage. The black Jesus thing is garbage. He probably, if we were going to compare him, we don't know what he looked like, but he probably looked more like Osama bin Laden than either the white or black Jesus.
He wouldn't actually look like Osama bin Laden because he wasn't very old, so he probably wouldn't have had the big.
Okay, well,
beard.
young Osama bin Laden, but you get the point.
I prefer not to. I don't think we should really spend a whole lot of time trying to figure out what he looked like.
He didn't have a turban.
Yeah,
He also didn't fly planes into buildings. I get the differences.
And Jewish people today don't really resemble that, and he would have been of Jewish lineage. So I don't know that I would say that.
Maybe he looked like Ken Golden. Now, only you and I know who Ken Golden is.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know that we should spend. I don't know biblically. I think we're almost forbidden from spending a whole lot of time trying to draw even mental images up.
I don't spend a lot of time on that. But
so, but you're right. He's not your blue-eyed German hippie-looking dude that we have in every picture. And unfortunately, you know, when we think of Jesus, that's what comes to mind now.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night.
Yeah, it's really weird, but you know, like I don't like the pictures of Jesus, but when somebody says Jesus, that is the image that pops in my head, and I don't. It kind of upsets me that I don't even have any control over that, you know, because it's just what's been presented my entire life.
What are you going to have? Are you going to have like a pitch black silhouette of a man with like white lines around the edge? And
no, it's like a
dream.
It's like a dream. You know, there's a person there. You don't know what they look like,
but
you know they're there.
Yeah, I don't know, John. But see, the problem is then maybe they drew pictures because they were already drawing pictures in their head, and it was easier to put a representative.
You know,
there. I don't know.
I don't know if I'm really ready to weigh or come down hard on the whole second commandment debate on whether or not that precludes picture or prohibits pictures of Jesus. Also, I tend to lean that way, but I don't think I could take a dogmatic stance.
I think it was directly related to, at least from what I understand in the beginning of the Catholic Church, like directly related to the art form and decorating the church, and you know.
Go ahead.
I guess for me,
or not.
Yeah, I think Sam was kind of. I think your point was done. You got more to say?
Well, no. My basic point was that it's like the creation of the picture of Jesus was, while they were drawing these things and creating the stained glasses in the church and creating the paintings, they kind of had to have something to draw.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like if you want to tell the story of Jesus in the form of a passion play, do you just leave Jesus' role blank?
Well, I heard that it started with Da Vinci when he painted the Last Supper.
Yeah,
I've heard that was the first.
I've also heard that Jesus and Judas were the same person in that portrait.
And
also.
Jesus married.
Yeah,
Jesus married Tom Hanks.
Well, you know. Okay, and
where did that come from?
A big
Da Vinci Code
out of the blue. But no,
Sam got it.
Yeah, Sam.
Sam's a very sharp kid. I don't think about
Sam. He is.
I don't think about.
But
Sam, I am.
I am Sam's.
But
green eggs.
Okay,
sorry.
but here's
I
what
would
I'm
not eat green eggs and ham with you, Sam. I am.
Here's where I'm trying to go with this.
Not in a bus.
It actually,
not in a plane. Not with a mouse. Not in a house.
John, I'm interested to hear what you're to say.
Just waiting for the air to clear. Okay, all right. So it actually goes.
I would not eat them with you there.
Clearly, the Adderall hasn't kicked in yet.
No. It dates back before the Catholic Church. It really goes back to the Eastern Orthodox Church. And now, if VB43 is listening and he thinks I've misrepresented Eastern Orthodoxy, I'm no expert on it, so maybe I'd be willing to have him clarify that. But for Eastern Orthodoxy, icons, religious symbols, icons are sacramental. There's actually a spiritual blessing for looking at the icons, for venerating the icons. Even Rome doesn't go that far. Rome and Lutheranism say that the icons are didactic. They're a teaching tool. You know, we look at the icons; they help us understand God. They help us in our worship that way, but they're not sacramental. So, I think of rejection of I think iconoclasm based on the grounds of the Second Commandment is more of a reaction to Eastern Orthodox than Rome necessarily.
Well, I just found some pictures online of frescoes of Jesus from the 3rd century, so they definitely didn't start with Leonardo.
No, okay. I also made that up, so
you have that. Yo, I think that was I mean, it's. I could see why one would think that. I
thought I heard that.
Yeah, but I was smarter than you, so I didn't let you trick me.
Well, the nice thing about
you looked
the nice thing about everything we learned in school is apparently it's garbage.
The what?
Everything you learned in school apparently is garbage.
I was homeschooled. Everything was wonderful.
So you've cornered the market on truth.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely truthfully.
Man, is this episode over yet? John's here. I got a headache. This is going poorly. People are like, "Oh, mute Dan's mic here." There you go.
So now that Dan's off the air, what do you guys want to talk about? Nothing?
We can talk about Dan.
Yeah, well, so okay, this is just a complete divergence from the topic because I think the topics are kind of played out. Dave, give us a little bit more about your background. Introduce yourself.
No.
I've been strictly advised to not.
By a lawyer?
No, I'm just kidding. Well, a little bit about my background. I'm from Port Townsend, Washington. I was born in Seattle, but we lived in Port Townsend. I was raised Pentecostal Armenian. Moved to Iowa, I don't know, 95 or something like that. I don't remember. You took a breath. But
no, Benji's still trying to get you pegged on the soda bread thing.
I don't know what soda bread is.
He didn't even say it. He made fun of me when I...
So, Benji, you have to describe what soda bread is so I can pose the question to him specifically, and then he can answer you with a definitive answer that you've been looking for.
I've never had it. I know that. But I don't know what it is.
Okay, anyway, but we'll get back to that. Yeah,
so we moved to Iowa. Went to a AG church.
Okay.
I gotta say,
we know what AG is, but in case
Assemblies of God.
Okay.
Went to Assemblies of God. In Washington, we went to a Nazarene church.
Soda bread is a bread that's apparently made with baking soda.
I kind of wondered if that's
with
what it was.
Some raisins and eggs, and it's an Irish thing.
Sounds like
Benji's Irish. I don't know how you guys didn't draw that together sooner.
Well, I knew that.
And
I knew
Google.
some Irish.
I mean, there's this amazing thing called Google. Al Gore invented it. You might have heard of it.
Yep. And now he's back off the air.
And now I like how he just pops in and out whenever he wants to. He's still sitting there, but he's just not participating.
No, we had the camera. We had him on the camera. Anyway, so now we know what soda bread is. Now that mystery is resolved.
Okay, great.
Do you like it?
But I'm on.
Well, I've never had it, but it sounds good.
Okay, well then we'll have to try it sometime.
I'll try it.
We'll sing that Irish or British Christmas carol.
Is it
soul
like
cake.
hot cross buns?
Is it like soul cake, Benji? He'll get back to us. Anyway, so tell us your background.
Okay, so raised Assemblies of God, Pentecostal, speaking in tongues, slain in the Spirit, whole 9 yards. Benny Hinn, Shambach. I don't know if any of you know who Shambach is, but
is it in the name?
Huh?
Is his description in the name?
No, it's he's kind of like Benny Hinn. He's like another faith healer type.
So Sham
Schambach.
It's in the name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. But so I got here, moved from Washington. I got saved probably 6 years ago, about 6 years ago. And then just kind of bounced around, went to a church for 6 or 7 years, I think. You know, kind of fell out of church for a while, and, you know, God brought me back, and so here I am now.
And you're going, if I understand it right, you're going to a PCA Presbyterian church right now?
He's toying with the idea of possibly attending.
I'm toying with the idea. I've gone once for what, Advent? Is that what it was?
That was Advent, yes.
Okay.
If I can't talk you into the OPC or URC, I'd say absolutely go to the PCA.
What is PCA?
Presbyterian Church of America.
Yeah, not to be confused with PCUSA.
No, PCUSA. There might be one or two good ones out there, but in general,
what does that stand for?
Presbyterian Church of the United States of America.
Oh, okay.
They're very liberal denomination. Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm not officially going anywhere right now. I'm toying with the idea of Presbyterian stuff.
We've caught him in the middle of his spiritual divergence.
Yeah,
you know, this will be an interesting story when he comes back on later, and we ask him, "What happened? What happened, David? What really happened? Can we call Abby? Oh no, we can't.
Oh, she's died.
Dead. Yeah,
but
and spiritism is a sin.
Is it?
Is consulting the dead.
Hillary Clinton does it, or Nancy Reagan.
Oh, and she never sinned otherwise.
No, she's perfect.
She's a lovely lady. She's a nice lady.
I voted for her. Not really, but so yeah. So that's kind of my very obviously vague story background. I'm sure I'll get into it
on the other side of the break.
Perhaps.
It sounds like we have a spontaneous break coming up. This is a Rebels Cause Radio. You are listening on Webcast One Live or rebelscause.com or Mixlr. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment.
Service Legends. I brought along a couple of the home comfort heroes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wells.
I am Nick Wondershide.
I am Administrative Manager.
I am the Senior Technician.
From Service Legends.
It seems like every good thing, when you feel it to the bone that it's good, there's a lot of hard work put behind it. I don't think that you can fake it and have it turn out good.
You know, if we seem like, okay, that's just weird, it's just a furnace, why would you believe so deeply in a furnace? It's not just that, you know, we want to show the world that you can have good service.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be, it's your home.
You know, it's built into our daily trainings, it's built into our culture, that we're going to do whatever it takes to have each client say they love us, period.
That's why we spend all the hours in the training that we do. And if we guarantee it's going to be a good experience for you, or else it's free, what type of work do you think we're going to do?
There is a guarantee.
Temperature selection guarantee, fixed right or it's free guarantee, comfort guarantee, best value guarantee. All of these guarantees hold us accountable to ensuring that we exceed your expectations. And if for whatever reason we'd fail and we can't make it right, we guarantee all of those guarantees with a 100% money back guarantee.
I mean, if you don't think that your technician can fix it right, are you going to say that to a client? No.
You don't have to worry about having a technician come to your house.
We drug test, background check all of our team members. We put safe people in your home. Each and every one of our service techs, 400 hours a year in training.
You tell it the minute they walk in the door. They know what they're doing, they've done their homework, and they actually truly care about what you want.
Because at the end of the day, you're the person that makes sure I have a job.
They're going to be listening. They're going to want to know what your challenges are. Then they're going to come and give you options, and you get to choose.
If I'm there to help and I make it easy and painless, I did my job right that day.
Well, when it comes to your comfort, safety, and your family, you know, you don't necessarily go buy the most expensive, but you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, it's worth it, because there's a lot of people that will find a way to get it to work right now and then leave and then come back, charge you again, and the cycle just repeats itself. So when I'm out there looking at the furnace, I want to find why it failed today. How can we change the part today with something that you're not going to have to worry about? Is it worth changing the part today? I mean, you can put a lot of money into a furnace. I can fix parts all day. There's good job security in that for me, but is it the right thing for you?
I get a lot of the phone calls of after the technicians are there. They're just in awe. They're like, wow, you guys are great. I mean, I don't even know what to say. You guys are great. Everything you did was perfect. It was great.
Keep going though. I like this.
Just give us a try. I'm gonna take all the risk.
I've got the time to make this right. I've got the support to make it right.
Just check us out.
And if you don't see the value in what we do,
I mean, fixed right or it's free or 100% money back.
enough said.
Just sit there, get involved. This is a Rebels Cause Radio.
Welcome back. This is a Rebels Cause Radio. Not to be confused with Webbles Cause Radio, because that was on previously. But now Dan Fry is going. Dan Fry is our wonderful anchor, and he's going to step in here.
That was that other stupid show.
Yeah.
Webbles Cause. That was the stupid show.
Don't give Elmer Fudd a podcast of his own. It's just a terrible idea.
Well, we were talking about nothing, actually, and now we're going to be talking about a little more about nothing. But we were talking about David and how he's such a wonderful person. We're glad that he's joining us here this evening, and how it's just pretty cool.
And how neat I am, and
yeah.
Well, everyone's just kind of staring at me.
You know, actually, here's a quagmire. There's been people in the chat saying we should bring up the anniversary of Roe v. Wade. Actually, what's really funny is Christine in the chats messed up the same way you did. She said, "Woe v. Wade."
That's actually a joke from another conversation.
Oh, well, whatever. Okay, well, I'm
Wade?
I'm not the all-knowing eye. Yeah. Do we even want to go there? That seems like a quagmire.
Will it give us something to talk about? Yes.
I don't really understand Roe v. Wade. I don't even know what it's about. Can you tell me? Listen.
What do you know about Roe v. Wade?
From what I understand, a woman. I guess I'm like an idiot. I don't know who's who. But
all right, so this is a Rebels Cause Radio. Clearly, the
only reason you did that is so you could come back in and make yourself look good.
Yes.
All right.
Well,
Let's see
what this does to the show from now on, for the rest of the episode.
Okay. Well, we've got. You guys want to stay silent the rest of it? I could carry the whole thing. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to carry the whole
I
thing.
think he did that so we could see how much we need him. Was that like a job security move?
No, I was just bored and thought it'd be funny to spend a section out. Go ahead. Roe v. Wade, your understanding.
Oh, so okay. A woman claims that she was raped and she got pregnant. Stop me if I'm wrong. And so. Is that what the case was over?
I'm no expert on Roe v. Wade, but my understanding it's characterized as the abortion case.
Sure,
and it had
a lawsuit that allowed somebody to have an abortion. It defined abortion as a legal thing. What's more important, rather than celebrate the anniversary of one of the most worst days in America.
Well, no one here is talking about celebrating it.
I don't even really want to address it as if it's special or a mark of denotation. It's just a point we look back now and go, oh, there was definitely a bad point in history. We should talk about what Chocolate Knox and of course Marcus Pittman are out doing, which is Babies Are Killed Here, the documentary.
Okay.
And have you taken the time to check out what they're doing, John?
Killed or murdered?
Murdered.
Okay.
Babies are murdered.
Are they making the documentary or is it already finished?
They're making the documentary.
Oh, okay.
That's actually why they're not on tonight, is they were out making it, and it's pretty fascinating. They've been recording at abortion clinics and trying to intervene and agitate. It kind of goes hand in hand a lot with like what the abolitionist guys are doing.
Sure.
Which I'm really excited about the abolitionist movement. I like saving babies. I think it's a good idea.
Babies are good.
As Obama says, they are the future of our nation. The thing that we must protect the most.
The hypocrisy in that. I know we had kind of an episode where I'm like, I don't really want to tie the Sandy Hook and the abortion thing necessarily together, but it is hard to listen to that and not be like, you do see the hypocrisy here, right?
All the children that are currently alive, we shall protect them, and for the rest of them, God save
if you're a
them all.
zygote, though.
I've heard it said that his policies are basically cradle to the grave. It's just the getting to the cradle that's the hard part.
Yeah.
So
well, and it's at some point it'll be hard to get to the grave naturally. How you get there will be less
unless it's voluntary.
You know, I just read some article. I can't remember which country it is. I wish I would have been more prepared to have the abortion discussion, I guess. But I just read an article where we have a country in today's time is talking about legalizing euthanasia for children that are mentally handicapped. This quality of life would be drastically affected.
I don't think that's a new.
Yeah, but I mean, it's something that's happening. Like
they're implementing it.
They're voting on it. It's going before their government. It's which is I don't remember in recent history that coming. Now I know that's happened before.
Well, I remember I mean, there's always been talk about that, but
Belgium, I guess, is where they're doing it.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, you know, I spent a moment and thought about that because. Maybe even on the surface, I could see why. No, I can't. I tried to find something I can. I don't know. I watched.
I mean, sometimes things are just so blatantly wrong that there's no.
Yeah, I just can't. I
can't.
I can't come. You know, I watched a video today of a kid that would probably fall into the "we should go ahead and euthanize him" category. He's got horrible cerebral palsy, and his brother wanted to help this kid participate in sports. And so his brother runs, swims, and bikes a triathlon carrying his brother. So like he has a buggy that his brother rides in.
Sure.
He pushes him in the stroller, and then he helps him swim. He's 10, and he treats his brother this way. And yet and you look at it, and the kid's happy, the family's happy, they're desperately in love with that child. Why would we think at any point we should be? I don't understand why we think we should be the judge and jury on when life's viable.
I don't think it's that surprising that Belgium is the first country to start implementing this. I mean, in America, whether or not you believe that we're a Christian nation or not, we've definitely benefited greatly from Judeo-Christian values, but over in Europe, they're notoriously. Especially in Germany. I mean,
that's why our concern is as Americans, we look to Europe and go, we're going that direction, and it's a negative thing. It's a negative thing. You know, there are even some parts about European culture that we may like the traveling and stuff like that. But really, when we look at the brass tacks, the politics, the religions,
I don't think the good parts are going to come here.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't.
No,
think
we're going to get we're going to get the socialism. We're going to get the hedonism. We're going to get the.
I think we've pretty much capitalized on the hedonism part.
Oh no! Have you seen European television? It's just outright pornography. It's not. It's not even like what we have here. You know.
I mean, as far as it's what I want when I want it.
I know, but it gets worse. You think we would be. It's pretty bad. It gets worse. European television is straight pornography, and it's not even any more limited to late night. It's perfectly acceptable to have topless women in it.
So it's basically like cable.
Yeah.
TV.
It's ridiculous.
The children's channel is like children's channel. There's like cable here, yeah. But actually, this euthanasia thing is actually just a logical outcropping of the abortion thing. You know, when we start to say human life isn't of ultimate importance, it can be terminated for convenience or for some sense of
you know, I had to turn down a guest today that would have been pretty sweet. There was a gal that was she was a child of the product of a mother who was gang raped by 8 men, and then she herself has been raped since. And she's a pro-life person, and it's like, man, if you can look back and see that, you know, here's a woman that's active, that she's actually, you know, she's clearly a pretty cool person, and you know, we would terminate her life because her father was a cretin.
I used to work I used to work for people with disabilities at a group home, and I obviously can't give any names or anything like that, but there was this one guy, and he was actually he had cerebral palsy, and he was a botched abortion.
Yeah.
And you know, totally couldn't walk, couldn't feed himself. But mentally, you could have he knew what was going on. I mean, he wasn't mentally retarded, even though he couldn't speak. I mean, he knew what was going on. And even someone in that condition, where maybe we would look at them and say, well, they have no quality of life. That's still a life.
Well, John and I have a good friend that suffers from horrible cerebral palsy. I mean, when Jonathan, our friend, was born, they said he'll never walk. He probably won't live past the age of 6. They said stuff like he won't develop normally. The guy is sharp as a tack. Very, very, very smart. He is clearly handicapped. I mean, it's no mistaking he's got cerebral palsy.
But it's not at all a mental handicap.
Yeah, it's not a mental handicap. And he's the most positive guy I've ever met. I mean, his life is valuable to him. And it's valuable to me.
It's valuable to everyone who knows him.
Yeah,
the guy is...
So we can't look at it and go, well, he wouldn't have wanted to live that quality of life, because I guarantee if you'd asked Jonathan, would you have rather been aborted or was this what you wanted, he would look you right in the eye and say, I love being alive.
Well, this was really a public debate a few years ago with the whole Terry Schiavo thing. I don't know if
I remember the Terry Schiavo thing.
That. Well, I guess I'd say a couple things. First of all, the ultimate answer is we're not the arbiters of who's worthy to live and who's worthy to die. We're not the arbiters of when it's appropriate to kill a baby in the womb. So that really could end the conversation right there. But even if we're gonna go past that and think more pragmatically, where is this going to lead? I mean, it was just abortion, now it's euthanasia. Now mental diseases. If they have mental disease, let's kill them.
Well, what else should we do with mental disease persons?
No, but what's going to become a mental disease? How long until the Christians are deemed mentally unfit?
Abortions started as in the very first stages where it's hard to determine whether it's a pregnancy or not for them. It's not really hard for me to determine that, but it started there, and then it became even in late stages, if it's if it's a health issue for the mother, to health issues for the mother could be, mentally this baby's going to stress me out. Well, every baby's stressful. I can tell you that as a father of 2. That's the case. So, it's a progression. It's always a progression. At some point, it will be we don't like this group of people. Let's rail them off, or it potentially could be. I guess let's not say it could be. It will be, but that is the slope in which it could progress.
Well, I mean, if there's nothing done about it, it will be.
I don't know. See, I'm trying to be a little more pragmatic about it. I don't know that I feel necessarily that way.
Whether it will be or not,
what's happening now?
It's trending. No, well, yes, it is,
and that's that. Whether it gets worse or stays the same. Staying the same is not an option.
No, it's disgusting and sinful as far as it is gone. How far it will go is up to the common grace of God. However, the way it's trending, if it continues to trend, it will end up that way. Now, whether it'll make it there or not, who knows? But that's the way it's trending.
I don't want to do that argument where it's it's because this happened, this is obviously going to happen. It's because that's not always true. We just looked at a creator that's bigger than us. It has this in his control, and we do what he asks us to do. We go from there. We're up on our last minute. Kind of suffered through this 2 hours.
Thank you for staying with us.
Thank you for staying with us.
You are always
Dave.
You are always the hardest on the show.
It is great to be with you. Have you here with us.
Thanks for having me. I had a great time.
Yeah, maybe we'll have you back again sometime in the near future. And Sam, thank you as always for coming in.
You are welcome.
It was a lot of fun.
You're welcome.
Ryan, good job with production.
Thank you.
This is Rebels Cause Radio. We're that show that tells you to read your Bible, to go out and actually read it, to underline, to circle in it, to highlight, to talk about it, to read books about it, to really just take it in, internalize it, okay? We're also that show that tells you to go to church, go to a Bible-believing church, one that teaches the gospel, and one that teaches the Bible, one that teaches in an expository fashion and seeks to honor God through that, not honor culture. We want you to love Jesus. There's not really much you can add to that. We just want you to love Jesus. And of course, we want you to forsake the world. This is Rebel Cause Radio. Until next week.
Hey, Mr. preacher man. Preacher, help me understand. Help me. Where will I stand in light of his judgment? I heard his work was telling from this Christian who mentioned I needed to be born again and forgiven. I tell him no, sir. I'm still seeking. But anyway, I think I heard the same stuff from a Muslim that if I pray 5 times, I could get to him and just